everybody, Jen from Scrapping Under the Influence. I am back with another project using the Simple Stories Say Cheese Classic Pooh. So for this one, I have done an 8x10 album, 4 pages, 2-inch spine. For the matting on this, I used one collection kit and one 6x8 pad. I think I have 2 sheets of the 6x8 left, and I have like 1 sheet of the collection, but it's just the journaling cut aparts that I ended up not using. So other than that, any of the other ephemera, except for this little guy, we'll talk about him in a second, are just either leftovers of what I had from the layout album. So the foam stickers, the brads in a couple of places, and chipboards. And I think this was one of the ephemera pieces. I just can't think which pack it was in. Anyway, so, and then the chipboard frames. So on the front here, we've got the chipboard frame that is open on the top there so that you can slide a picture in underneath there. This little guy is a part of an embellishment set that I will have live in my shop here next week. On the spine, I've got some of the foam stickers, and then the big, the long kind of silhouette sticker from the paper collection from the sticker sheet in the paper collection on the back here. When you open this up, it is graduated pages. So the pages are 6, 7, 8, and 9 inches wide. They each have an insert. And we'll get to that in a second. So on the front inside cover here, I've actually got a large pocket, and then this, with the exception of this back piece, was all matted entirely with the 6x8 paper pad. So this is just a flip. I've used the rub-ons from the paper collection on pretty much all of the white mats that I've used in the book, which was not my initial plan, but when I was pulling out embellishments, I was like, I have all of these rub-ons and I haven't used them anywhere. And I was like, oh, wait. And honestly, I love how it came out. The Simple Stories rub-ons are really good, and they went down really easily, and it was just something fun and different that I don't usually think of doing. And then I did put one of them on the Color Vibe piece here. So lots and lots of spots for pictures. When we get into the rest of the book, this is another one of the little wood embellishments that I've done. I did use, I think, 4 sets of magnets in this. This opens up like so, and then you've got another pocket in here. I left these just as is because the paper is so cute. I've got tag cut aparts in here. And then your first insert, the inserts are not matted so that by the time pictures got added to it, they're not going to be too bulky. And then this little guy is from the die sets that coordinate with this collection that Spellbinders did with Simple Stories. And I had actually done these on a Facebook live on YouTube the other night. So I will link that in the description box so you can go check that out and how I did these, because I did do these out of white cardstock and then inked them to color them. So just something kind of fun and different, and a really good way to color your die cuts without having to have a billion different colors of cardstock to use them with. So I'm going to set that aside. On the back side of the first page, we've got some of the foam stickers, and then cut up 3x4 cut aparts that I've matted, and then some of the, and they're sliding all the way down in there, tag cut aparts. This was off of the sticker sheet. When you open this up on the inside, this one I apparently can't measure, and it was short, so we got that little border off the sticker sheet, which actually worked quite nicely. It kind of tied it all together. I've done Michelle Allen's stacked waterfall here with the 4x6 cut aparts because they are so cute. Here is our second insert with our little piglet die cut. Next, we've got a belly band, which I didn't end up doing an insert for just because I figured it would be good for like extra pictures. Here's another one of my little wood embellishment pieces. And then on this, I did take one of the brads that I had left and hot glued it to the top of this yellow paper clip that actually matched pretty well. Here's some more of those rub-ons in here. And then that's just holding those flaps closed. And then there's a little pocket in the back of that flap. On this side, we've got another big pocket here, and I've just got cut aparts matted and tucked in there, along with one of the tags. These are both from the sticker sheet. Flip it up, we've got lots of space up there for pictures, and then we've got two pockets here, again, just for some more of the cut aparts. And I did purposely cut this, which I didn't do the cutting of this matting on the tutorial, and I apologize, but it was like, I don't typically do the matting in videos just because it takes me forever. I've literally been matting this thing for like 3 days. You have no idea. It's insane. Little sticker from the sticker sheet. Our next insert, we've got that big honey pot die cut. And apparently something I didn't glue all the way down. Here we've got angled pockets, and again, I've just got cut aparts and tags in here, and this was another one where I totally should have, but I don't know that I could duplicate this again if I wanted to. I had one of those moments where it just kind of clicked, and I went, oh, this is how I'm going to cut this to mat this. One tip I will give you on that is I did keep, when I made my angled pockets, the piece that you cut off on this top. I did hang on to that so that I could use that as a template. I cut it down to the size I wanted the matting to be so that I could lay it on top here, make sure I had my border the way I wanted it before I actually cut that. So just a tip there. Here we've got the 4x6 cut apart just on a mat with magnets. And then this folds all the way out. So I was able to keep that super cute piece that has that like shadow of all of them walking together intact. And then on the back side, I have got photo mats with the rub-ons again. And then magnets holding that on there. Here's our last insert with Tigger. And what I should have done, and I didn't think about it at the time, if I had turned my die cuts over, I could have had him facing the other way, but I figured, it's Tigger. It's honestly kind of appropriate. You're just seeing his little rear end sticking out there. So that was my thought process there. All right, so back here, I've got my last of the die cuts that I did on the live the other night with Eeyore, and the last of the 4 little wooden embellishments that will be coming into my shop. This opens up like so, and then I thought this was just kind of fun because this is from the 6x8 pad, and it's the smaller version of that paper. And then there's a set on the brads, if you bought the brads, that actually have all the little animals. So I just put those down at the bottom there just for something different. This opens up. That must be catching, I bet, over there. And again, I've got the rub-ons, and then another large pocket with some more of the cut aparts. And last but not least, over here, we have another one of the 6x8 pieces. And then this opens up like so. And again, we've got some more of those rub-ons and cut aparts and tags. And then here, again, because I cannot measure paper, apparently, to save my life, this is actually from the 6x8 pad. There is a seam like right here, which is why this is here covering that. And then I cut it too short. Again, I don't know how I keep doing this. Possibly because I was using a trimmer that I was trying to test to see if I liked it so it could go in my travel stuff, because it's both the trimmer and the scoreboard in one. And I think I hate it, but that's a whole other issue. But that's how I ended up cutting like 3 different things on this, like way shorter than they should have been. So to fix this, I took some of the little words that are on the sticker sheet and just ran them across up there. And it worked quite nicely, actually. So there we go. And there's that. And then there's your entire book. So as always, thank you for watching. I will link which of these products are available at Country Craft Creations in the description box of the video. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a tiny commission if you do buy from those links. And if you do, I appreciate it because it helps me to keep my videos and my tutorials free. And I will see you guys in the tutorial. Okay, so we are going to start with 2 pieces of chipboard that are 8 by 10, one piece that is 8 by 2, because this is going to be an 8 by 10, but it's going to run landscape instead of portrait. Okay, so covered in tape on the back of all 3 of those pieces. For the 2 big pieces, you're going to want cardstock that is 10 by 12. I'm going to use my 1-inch spacers and grab my little tool. Oh, that was great. Okay. So 1 inch all the way around. Let's grab our next one. Okay. And for our spine piece, our cardstock is 5 by 10. We want our 1 inch at the top again, and then 1.5 on the side. Okay. We are finished with the spacers. Let me grab my 1/4 inch tape since I did not have that one ready. And bone folders. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute. We are going to use the cardstock to bend our chipboard to bend our cardstock around. So I'm just putting that on my table and folding it over and then burnishing down, increasing where that folds. Once I have that folded in all of my creases, we're going to remove this corner. I've been doing it by just mitering out from the edge of the chipboard. Okay. So for the spine, that's what we're going to do there. I'm going to go ahead and put tape on my ends like so. Flip it pretty side up and do my tape on my wings. Okay. And we're going to come in here with glue. We're going to run glue along the edge of that chipboard. Come on. is this almost empty again? No, not quite. Okay. It's just been sitting for like 2 days, and most of the time it doesn't clog, but every once in a while. Yep, I can see on there where that's clogged. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to come with the bone folder and push this up, fold it over, burnish it down, and then wipe up any extra glue. Okay, I'm going to turn it pretty side up again, and I'm going to burnish along the edge so that that spine area becomes very defined. Okay. Okay, so you can see, you can really see that now. So I'm going to set that aside for right now. And then we are going to wrap all 4 sides on our 2 cover pieces. So I'm going to start out the same way. I'm going to fold and burnish. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to miter this just like we did before. Okay. All right. So we've got all of those. Now I'm going to go around all 4 of these with tape. You can just glue them if you want. You can use just tape if you want. It is entirely up to you, whatever your preference is. This just helps it grab immediately. I don't have to, use as much glue. I don't have to spend as much time, burnishing it down because the tape helps it grab immediately, and then your glue dries and secures it, and you're good to go. Okay. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to pull the backing off of all of my tape. And then I'm going to run my glue along the edge of the chipboard. crying out loud, my thing is like sitting on top of something over here. It's just not working out for me today. Okay. Fold up, over, burnish it down. Okay, like so. Repeat it on the next one. You could just move around when you fold them down, just, boom, boom, boom. That's fine. It's entirely up to you. I like to do opposite sides. And because this one is going to be a landscape oriented album, so my spine is going to attach this way, I'm going to fold these sides in first, just to make sure one of them doesn't like pull up or something, which literally never had an issue ever in doing this method. But that's just my thought process on it. So, whatever works best for you. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my scoreboard again. I'm going to put my spine piece in here. Get the backing off of this. Actually, before I put it in here, I am going to do some glue. You don't want to go all the way up to your chipboard. You want to just be about 1/8 of an inch away. Probably not even that, more like a 16th. Okay. So I am going to, that's what I was trying to do. I knew there was a reason I was doing it this way. Okay. So this is in, lined up. I'm holding this with my hand, using the scoreboard to line up where this needs to go, and burnishing it down. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to get the tape off. Hold this. Got too far up. Okay. Hold this up against the edge of my scoreboard, lined in that top corner, and drop it down, and then your cover will go together perfectly straight. That is part of the reason why I ended up getting this Spellbinder scoreboard, because the end is open. So if this was a longer album or something, or I needed to, if it was like a trifold and I've got multiple cover pieces, it can hang off this end without impeding me putting it together the way I just showed you. Okay. All right. So need a piece to, and this is not quite as wide as I would prefer, but it's okay. We're going to go with it. Normally this is 5 inches. Normally I would go 5.5 for the piece to reinforce this, 5.5 or 6 actually. But when I was doing that, the big 12 by 12 album, I had an entire piece of this that I covered in tape and realized that was not what I wanted to actually do. So I had it sitting off to the side here. I figured, why waste the paper or the tape? So this is 8 inches. This is 7 7/8. I would actually go 6. Mine right now is only 5, which will be fine, but 6 would have been better. Okay. So I'm going to burnish this down. That is the one piece I will advise you do all tape every single time because it's going to keep it from bubbling up on you. Okay. So I'm going to start folding this up and burnish that reinforcement piece down into that crease. Okay. Same thing here again. Burnish. And then I do like to bring it up and pinch it just to kind of secure everything in place all the way. Okay. So there is that. I think I do want to, actually, I'll hold off on that. I was going to say I do want to mat that, but I'm not honestly sure yet. So our hinge is going to be 7 3/4 by 5 1/2. I cut this short, a 1/16 of an inch. Okay. When we do our page assemblies, you'll understand why. It will make a lot more sense. But you do want to do it just a little bit short of the full height. So our album is 8 inches. This is 7 3/4. Our pages are going to be 7 3/4. Okay. Well, 7 3/4 minus 1/16 because the pages are the full 7 3/4. We're going to have 4 pages, 1/2 inch gussets. So we're going to score every 1/2 inch all the way across. So 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, and 5. Okay. So I've been doing this lately just to kind of help you guys out. X's go together. 2x, skip. X, X, skip, X, X, skip, X, X. So we have 4 pages. We have 4 sets of X's. We are going to start with one of the inside pieces. You're going to fold it over, not creasing it yet. Make sure it's lined up side to side. Take your bone folder and starting at the middle, burnish out. Okay, you don't want to start from an end and push it across because that's how you end up with a crooked hinge. Okay, so that's that way. We're going to fold back on our next piece and burnish this one down. Again, always starting at the middle. I'm going to turn it pretty side up. Take this piece that we have just folded and burnished, fold it back towards me, and burnish again. Okay, so that's one folded and ready to go. We're not going to glue it yet. We're going to fold everything else. So I'm going to turn it back over. I'm going to take the other side now. Same thing. Make sure it's lined up. Turn it over. Fold it back towards myself again. Okay. So there's 2 hinges. Okay. Flip it over. Now we're going to do our end pieces. These you can kind of finger crease initially and then burnish from the middle out. Turn it over. Back on itself again. From the middle out. Our last one over. Burnish it out. And then back on itself. Okay. All right. So there's our 4 hinges. Now we can glue. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to start in the middle and then do our outside edges. Okay. So where'd my, there it is. Okay. All right. So got glue on that first one. I'm going to fold it over, burnish out from the middle, wipe up my glue, so I don't get my brand new mat all gunky. It's so clean and so pretty, and I hate to even use it. Is that bad? Okay. Then I'm just pushing it flat and folding it back and forth and burnishing both directions. Okay. One is glued. Go to our next one. Okay. Over. Burnish down. Burnish. Fold back. Burnish. We got two. We can do our ends. Doesn't matter which one first. My son just got home. He's upstairs practicing his song for the piano recital in 2 weeks. And I can tell he's rushing through it because he wants to go play basketball. He's playing the song Married Life from the movie Up. So that's like the kind of waltz tempo song that's through that first opening 3 minutes that makes me ugly cry every single time I see it. Half the time if I think about it or talk about it. But that's his song this time for the piano recital. I'm super excited because he's really doing a great job with it. But like I said, I can hear him now. I can tell he's rushing. Okay, so let's grab our book. And yes, I do want a mat underneath this. So let me grab one of my scraps from the 12 by 12 album. So that is a 2-inch spine. I'm going to cut this to 1 7/8 by 7 7/8. Excuse me. Go ahead and glue this in. It's like, why do they always put the really cute ones on the back of the cut aparts? Like this one with the bees is so cute. So cute. All right, so we're going to glue our hinge down. And then I'm just going to eyeball it to center it. Hold it still with one finger. Hold it still with the other. Burnish. And there we go. Our hinge is in. All right. So let's work on our front inside cover element. So for the front inside cover, we have a very large side loading pocket. This is 8.5 by 9. Okay, so this is 8.5 by 9. We are going to start with the 9-inch at the top. You're going to score it 1/2 inch. Turn it 1/2 inch again, and I have pre-scored these. This is why I'm like all over the place, but and 1/2 inch again. We are going to miter on this bottom corner. You're going to go right through where your score lines cross. Okay. Up on the top, you're going to miter from your score line out. Okay. Not going to fold anything on this one yet. Then we've got 6 pieces that are 6.5 by 8. So I realize this is 6 more sheets of paper. Okay. The other half of this, the 5.5 by 8, we are actually using all of them other places. So they will get used. I try really hard to use up the scraps as I go so that, you know, you're not like cutting weird sizes of paper and then scraps that you can't really use for stuff. So I do try really hard to not do that. All right, so one of them with the 6.5 at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 an inch and 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so we have that little tiny gusset on this one. This one we are going to miter. Okay. The other 5, make sure I actually counted right here. The other 5 with the 6.5 at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 an inch on all 5. You are not going to miter these because this is basically going to be a big waterfall. Okay. So we are going to grab our book. I am going to fold and burnish on my big pocket. We can go ahead and put this one in because we're not going to mat all the way underneath it because there's no need to. Just realized I moved the microphone to talk to my son and then I didn't put it back. Okay, so it's going to be up to you if you want it to run this way or you want it to run this way. Honestly, now that I'm seeing it in here, I think I want to cut like an inch off of this. So I think I am going to. So instead of this being 8.5, we're going to make it we're going to make it 8.5, 7.5. We're going to take 1.5 inches off. So sorry about that. It's one of those like when I'm kind of sketching and planning and whatnot. So this ended up being 7 by 9 instead of 8.5. Because that gives you a little more space over here, which is going to be better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to do just that end first. Turn this. Go all the way to the outside edge. Make sure you're lined up top to bottom. Burnish that down. And then glue our sides. Okay. Lay that down and burnish it down. There's our pocket. Okay. The one with the gusset, we're going to set aside. Our other 5 pieces, we can go ahead and fold and burnish all of these. Okay. All right. All right, so what we're going to do, where I said it was kind of a waterfall, it's not really a waterfall, it's more of a stacked kind of flip. So I have these all stacked together, fanned out. I'm actually going to do this like so. And then I am going to paper clip these so it does not move once I start getting the glue in there. And then let me grab some clips. Clips. Okay. So this is why that other piece needs the gusset. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run glue along the first 4. This back one we're not going to do yet because that's the one we need to attach to the book, and we need the other ones to dry first. Okay. So get in here with the glue. Okay. And then literally all you're going to do is pinch it together. Okay. Pinch it together, burnish it down, and then I'm going to put my clips on to hold it nice and squished together while it dries. Okay. Like so. Okay. So while we let that one sit for a minute, we're going to grab our other piece and we are going to fold and burnish and fold and burnish. Okay. Whoops, let's not throw away the bone folder. All right, so that is going to go on here, opening to the left. This is going to be our closure that's going to open to the right. So this is going to glue on like this. Okay. So I have to get it where I can like see it. Okay. All right, so open that up. Okay. This one should be good. Go ahead and take the clips off. Don't think I need them on anything else. So this bottom flap, we can go ahead and miter if you want to. I am going to miter it just a tiny bit. I cannot glue stuff to save my life lately, I swear. Okay. So this is going to get glued out here on this edge. And again, top to bottom, we're good. And then we need magnets. Ugh. I'm going to have to grab some more. Oh, they're right there. Okay. So I'm going to use a pair of magnets. Okay. I'm going to put this right in the middle so that when I mat this, I'm not having to worry that it's too close to the edge and that it's going to, you know, kind of bubble up underneath the very edge of my paper. Okay. So that opens up and then you flip, 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 flip. And if this is sized, these are sized, and this one is sized for your 6x8 pad of the Winnie the Pooh or any other Simple Stories collection, because that is the one, you know, one thing that is cool that they do a lot of pretty much all the same different ephemera elements and things and different little fun things with all of their collections. So they all pretty much, except like the mini collections. I know there's one called Crafty Babe that's coming that's like a Barbie crafty one that I think is going to be super cute, but it's a mini collection, so it's only 6 sheets of cardstock. It's not a full 12 sheet. That one doesn't have the 6x8 pad, I don't think. I'm trying to remember if I saw a 6x8. I don't think I did. That would make no sense to do a 6x8 for a tiny collection, but they're still foam stickers, so just, not that you probably care at this point because you're working on this. All right, so there's that. Let me go ahead and grab for my back inside cover. So back inside cover, we have a flap that is 6 by 8.5. That is going to go back here like so. So let me move this. So with the 8.5 at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Go ahead and miter that one. Okay. We have a pocket that is 4 by 11, and I think I meant to cut this a hair short, but I don't think I actually did. So we're going to start with the 11 inch at the top, score at 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch again, turn, and 1/2 inch again. Okay. We are going to miter across the bottom like we do with pockets so that the corners of the pockets don't get like all weirdly bulky and, standing up and they sit more flat. Okay. And then we have 2 flaps that are 4 1/8 by 6 5/8. So these are supposed to be for some of those 4 by 6 cut aparts that are in the collection, or for the 8, like half sheets of the 8 by 8, whichever you prefer. So with the 6 5/8 at the top, you are going to score this at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And we're going to miter these 2 as well. All right. So let's grab our book. We're going to put our pocket down first. So we're going to fold and burnish our score lines. And go ahead and put our glue on just this bottom tab. And this is going to go like so. Burnish that one down. Fold this out, burnish again, and then we'll get our sides. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this one first. So turn this upside down. I'm going to fold and burnish. And this one is going to go right in the middle here. And you can, measure and make sure it's super centered. I just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be like that exact. Okay, so let's go ahead and fold and burnish both of these pieces. Okay. And now I've got to remember how these were supposed to go. Were they going like this, or were they in here at the top? I think they were going right along the top of the pocket. So turn this sideways. I'm going to line this up against the edge of the pocket. Okay, like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Turn that so I can see and make sure I'm not going too far over. Like so. And then this folds down over the top. So we need one more set of magnets there. My extra one. Okay. So that can go right there. This one can drop down on top. Make sure it's all laying nice and flat. And there we go. So we've got our front and back inside cover elements in. So let's work on our pages. So the pages in this book are graduated. Okay. So we are going to, well, the way I've got all of my stuff cut and stacked over here was I was going to build the base itself and then the elements that go on top of it and set them aside, and then we will put them all in at once. Okay, so for our first page base, you need a piece that is 6 by 7 3/4. This one does not have any scoring. Our second piece is 6 by 8 3/4, and this one you are going to score at 1/2 inch on each end. So 1/2 inch and then 8 1/4. Okay. We are going to miter. Okay. I'm going to fold and burnish. And go ahead and get this assembled. So if you don't want to seal it on both ends, you just want to do one so that you can put it on that hinge a little bit easier, that's fine. This is why our hinge is a 1/16 of an inch short, so that we can just slide this on without any problem. Okay. So again, I am going to use my board. I'm going to put glue on the end, or on my tabs, that is. On both ends, actually. And then we'll just use our scoreboard to help line everything up in that upper corner so everything's nice and straight. Okay. And then just burnish it down. Okay. I'm going to move this just a little bit to make sure, because I usually use my mat as a reference to know when I'm actually out of frame down on the bottom, just to make sure that I don't do that, because I don't like watch my screen over here to the side the whole time, but yeah, just in case. Okay. Page 1 front, we have a flap that is 4 1/8 by 4 5/8. With the 4 5/8 at the top, you are going to score this at 1/2 inch. We have a pocket that is 2 3/4 by 8 3/4. Starting with the 8 3/4 at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Turn it, 1/2 inch again, turn, and 1/2 inch again. We then have 2 flaps, one that is 6 1/2 by 7 3/4. We're going to score that with the 6 1/2 at the top at 1/2 inch. The other is 6 1/4 by 7 3/4. And again, with the 6 1/4 at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, we are going to miter all of these. Okay. So on the pocket, you're going to go across the score lines where they cross, and then you are going to do your top corners. And then for the flaps and whatnot, you're just going to miter like normal. Okay. So here's our base, open all the way through. So I'm going to fold and burnish. This is the shorter of the two. That one is going to go on this side. Okay. Okay. There's that. This one goes on the other side. Okay. Our pocket is going to be a side loading pocket that will go underneath the flaps. I think. Hold on. Yes, okay. That's what I just wanted to make sure that I was thinking right on this. Okay, so it doesn't matter. You can do it either side. Get glue on that. Okay, there we go there. This flap will go on top of this one right over here, and that's what's going to hold this down. So I will be using another magnet. I'll tell you right now, I do not pay a ton of money for magnets. I buy them from a website called Total Element. The ones that I buy and use probably the most right here are 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch. They are 1/32 of an inch thick. So really you can get on there anything that is the 1/32 of an inch thick, which is the thinnest ones they make. Any of those will work for mini albums without having to pay $6 or $7 for like 5 pairs. So 10 magnets total. 100 of these is $18. Like, why wouldn't you do it that way? Okay. Helps to know for sure which direction your magnet needs to go before you put the tape on it. Okay. That is front of page 1. Back of page 1 is literally just another side loading pocket. Why is it side loading again? You know, I did like 3 page elements, or like front and back of 1 and possibly page 2, thinking that the book was going together a different direction. Because, you know, this is apparently how my brain works right now. So 5 by 8 3/4. The 8 3/4 at the top, you're going to score 1/2 inch, turn it, 1/2 inch, turn, and 1/2 inch again. We're going to miter. And then fold and burnish. And we are going to put the opening of this pocket towards the inside of the book. So if this were in the book and you turn the page, it's going to go on this edge over here. Okay. So I am turning it with that edge facing me so I can make sure I get this lined up where I want it. Okay. And glue. Go ahead and burnish this down. Okay, there is page 1. I am going to set that face down to the side here. Let's grab our base. For page 2. I was like, what have I done here? That is not a base. This is a base. Okay, so same basic idea. We have one piece that is 7 3/4 by 7. This one does not need scoring. We're going to set it aside. Our other half of our base is 8 3/4 by 7. So with the 8 3/4 at the top, you're going to score it 1/2 inch and 8 1/4. We're going to miter. And fold and burnish. Put my base in my scoreboard. Okay. And there we go. So when the pages are in the book, they're graduated. Okay. Move that off to the side. So the front of page 2, we have, this is the one that I struggled with. I don't know why, but I do need matting for this. So let me grab that'll work. Okay, so our page base is 7 by 7, so this will be 6 7/8. And this is literally just another one of my only 2 leftover pieces from the other album. Why does that not look right? What did I do? Did I just do that? Oh my lord, seriously, you guys. I can't. It's been a day. Okay, well, we're going to go with Color Vibe instead. So, 7 5/8. 7 5/8 by 6 7/8. That makes a lot more sense. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We have a ton of Color Vibe sitting over here in a pile. All right. So, first up, let's do our stacked waterfall. So, this is something that Michelle Allen, who is on the CCC design team, came up with 3 or 4 years ago. It's very cool. It's one of these things like when I've used it, when I've seen done tutorials other people are doing and they've used it, I'm always like, that is so cool. I need to remember that. And do you think I could remember how to do it? I wasted so much paper last night trying to remember how to do this. So, first piece you need is going to be 6 by 10 with the 10-inch at the top of the scoreboard. You're going to score at 4 and 6. Okay. The next piece is going to be 6 by 9. You're going to score at 4 and 5. Okay, 4, 5. And because we're making this an odd numbered waterfall instead of an even numbered waterfall, our last piece is going to be 4.5 by 6 scored at 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is why we needed the matting before we do this. So I am going to go ahead and fold. Okay, because what we do is this will go in the middle here. This one will then go in the middle there. Okay, so that when all is said and done and everything is glued in, you have a waterfall using 3 pieces of paper instead of having to cut up a whole bunch of papers. Okay, it's a very, very cool idea. So what I'm going to do, somewhere I have my little 1/2-inch spacers. So let me grab those. Okay, so I'm going to put a 1/2-inch spacer here and here to help me line up where this needs to go to try and get this centered. Or you could measure. Probably be easier. But since I'm apparently going to do everything difficult today, literally work everything. Everything today has been just one thing after another, I'm telling you. Okay. So this one is going to go down here. And there we go. Okay. So then this one, I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish. This one is going to go in here, assuming I have done this right. Yes. Just like we'll pretend it's a normal waterfall page, essentially. So it's going to go. The only difference is this bottom is going against our score line here. So then it's all folded together and you have a waterfall and it's perfectly straight and it's all nice and even and perfect. I know. Such a cool idea. So, so cool. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. All right, so then we're doing flaps again because that's what we're going to do. So this is 7 5/8 by 7 3/4. With the 7 5/8 at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 5/8. Our next one is 7 3/4 by 4 3/8. So again, 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch. Did I say 3? Hopefully I said it right. 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch on both of these. Go ahead and miter. I think I'm going to have to take a break here in a second and refill my glue. Because it's getting light, I can tell. Okay. So I'm going to take my page face. Okay. I'm going to do our opening facing off to the sides, actually face towards me so I can put this down and glue it down where I really want it. Okay. Why is that not? Because apparently I can't measure. Oh Lord, okay. So these, I wrote down the right measurement. I did not actually cut them to the right measurement. I told you last night I was riding the struggle bus hard, obviously. all that off. And then we're going to take an inch off of this. So the measurement I gave you was correct. I just did not cut mine correctly. So 7 3/4 by 4 3/8, 7 3/4 by 7 5/8. Like I said, the measurements I told you are in fact correct. I just did not cut them correctly. Somehow I am not the least bit surprised by. Okay, so this will open towards the outside of the book. This one will open towards the inside. And then we'll put our matting down. And you absolutely could do ribbon closures for any of these places where I am using a magnet. I just never did go find some ribbon that I liked to go with this album. So, and I really didn't have anything in my stash. I did kind of poke through the other day and didn't love anything that I did have on hand. So we're just going to go with it. All right, so we're going to put our matting down. So 7 5/8 by 6 7/8 to mat in between our flaps. Okay. And then our waterfall, you can glue just your little spine piece for it, or you can glue like this entire back section so it sits like this, which is what I'm going to do. So okay, this one goes like so. Go ahead and put our magnet in. Just trying to figure out where I want that to go approximately. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause very quick. Actually, no, we're going to go ahead and do the back because it's super simple. Okay. So again, except I apparently glued that. Here's our opening. Okay. Turning your page, this is going to be your back. So for the back, we have a belly band that is 8 3/4 by 3 1/2. With the 8 3/4 at the top of the scoreboard, you're going to score it 1/2 inch and 8 1/4. We're going to go ahead and miter. Okay. So we're just going to center this top to bottom. Okay. So there's our belly band. And then we have a flap that is going on top of this that is 10 1/4 by 4. You're going to, or I'm sorry, 10 1/2 by 4. I did cut it a hair short on one end. We are going to score, I can tell that's the end that I cut it short on, 3 1/2 and 7. all we're doing with this one is folding this up, and this will sit on top of the belly band like so. So it will just open, and that's what I need to do. Nope. Okay. You can mat underneath this. I think it's going to be fine. I'm good with it like having that border on the edges. I am only gluing this on 3 sides so that we could do a tag or something in this top. Okay. I'm going to double check that I am faced correctly. Okay. As far as closing this one up, I'm going to look and see if I've got some ribbon or some seam binding or something. Otherwise, I'll end up coming back and putting a magnet on this, but for now, we're good. Okay, move that one off to the side. Let me refill my glue and I will be right back. Okay, glue is refilled. Let's do our page base for page 3. So 7 3/4 by 8, no scoring. 8 3/4 by 8. We're going to score it 1/2 inch, and 8 1/4 with the 8 3/8 at the top, or 8 3/4 at the top. I'm going to go ahead and miter. Okay. Fold and burnish. And go ahead and put it together. Oh, much better. I always tell the glue's getting low because when you go to put it back in the little stand, that pops up. That's usually the first clue. Okay. All right. So there we go there. Okay. All right. Front of page 3. Oh, okay. Sorry. I had to look at that for a second because it wasn't making sense. All right. First up, we have a flap. This is 8 by 5.5. So this is one of your offcuts from those 6.5 by 8 pieces. With the 8 inches at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay. We have 2 pockets. And I wrote my directions on both of these the same, even though we are going to kind of trim one of these off differently. They are both 9 by 4. Again, we're using scraps. So with the 9 inch at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch again on both. Okay. On one of them, you are going to miter from the bottom. And I did it again, didn't I? Oh, no, they're fine. Okay, never mind. Didn't have my thing turned right. All right, we're good. Okay. And miter. Okay. On the second one, because they're going to be stacked. So we want this one to come down inside the one above it without creating a lot of bulk. Okay. So I am going to take my pencil. My bottom score line is over here. From my 4 inches, I'm going to mark at 2. What I'm going to do is go from that 2-inch mark all the way down across where the score lines cross. Okay, so there's my score lines. get my 2-inch mark on the other side. So when I turn this over to do this, you can actually see it. That would be helpful. Okay, there's my 2-inch mark. There's where my score lines cross. Okay, like so. So that this will slide down inside this one. Okay, so I'm going to take the bottom one first. I'm going to fold and burnish. Take my page base, open ends, facing out. This one is going to go down here. We're going to go ahead and glue our bottom. All right. Okay, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to fold. I don't think we cut in far enough. That's right, because I didn't do that right. Okay, hold on. Let me think for a second. It's been a while. Okay, so that's what we needed to do. So we're going to fold this in. Then from our 2-inch mark, you're going to trim down. That's what it was. I knew something seemed off. That makes more sense. Okay, because then when we go to slide this in, it's going to slide down and not get caught. Okay, so once you've cut that off, you're going to miter there. You're going to miter there. Doesn't have to be exact. Nobody's going to see that part. Okay. We're going to go ahead. Well, help if you got glue on both sides there, Jen. Some days, I'm telling you. Okay. This one is going to slide right down inside like so and stop, which is exactly what we want. You can try to adhere the bottom down if you want to. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It's more, you know, so if something larger is going in this pocket, it will still go. And that's fine. Okay. We have a flap that is 8 by 5.5. I think we scored this already. Score it 1/2 inch on the 8-inch side. I'm going to go ahead and miter that. But before I put that on here, we have 2 pockets that are going to go onto this flap. Okay. So, no, 1 pocket. I don't know why I have 2. I think that's what I was going to do originally, and then that was not how it was going to actually work. Okay. So for our pocket, you need a piece that is 4 by 6.5. Okay. We are going to miter. You're going to score it. Sorry. When I cut extra pieces like that, it just throws me for a loop every time, I'm telling you. Okay, you're going to score it with the 6.5 at the top, at 1/2 inch, and at 6 inches, because it's going to be a flat pocket, so we're going to glue across the bottom. Okay. I am going to miter all the way around. We have our flap. So I'm going to put glue on my tabs and then a line across this bottom edge down here. And that one will go down like so. Okay. And then this will go like so. Okay. So I'm just going to center this. This one with the addition of the pocket on top of the flap, especially once you get like cut aparts or, photo mats in there or whatever, this will be heavy enough to stay down. We don't need any kind of magnet on this one. Okay. So again, we're going to pretend we're turning the page and get that one situated the right way for the next one. I have a lot of pockets in this one. So I was just like, not good mojo with this one. I don't know why, because I love this paper. But I have other things I want to work on too, and sometimes it just makes it hard to do things I need to do. Okay, so what did I say? 5.5 by 8. So again, we're using those extra pieces. You're going to score them, one of them with the 5.5 at the top at 5. Okay, and then turn it and 1/2 inch. The other one, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. I actually did do this backwards on this one. Turn it and 1/2 inch. Okay. Then we're going to take our ruler and a pencil. Are we taking the ruler and the pencil, or are we just taking the... I don't think we even needed to do that. Okay. We are going to make these angled. What we're going to do is put this in the scoreboard, and we're going to cut from our miter, or our scored edge to our scored edge. Okay. So I am just going to line that up in my trimmer like so. Okay. And then I will miter my bottom corner. Okay. And then the other piece, I'm going to do the same way. So that they go opposite directions. And then miter. And miter and miter. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is fold and burnish our whatever this is, the bottom of our pocket. Okay. And then our next one. And this one I can see I need to miter a little bit more off this top corner here. All right. So these are going to go like this. Doesn't matter which side you start with. I'm going to put one down. Okay. I'm going to open this up, and then I'm going to put the other bottom down. Okay. So that's going to fold up like that. Now, you can mat these before you put them down. Honestly, it's probably a little bit easier. I am just going to try and find a non-directional paper that I can just cut a square that's what? 5 by 7 1/4 and cut in half and mat on both of those. But okay, there's page 3. Page 4, base. We are on the last little bit here, and then we'll put them in the book. Okay, your base is 9 by 7 3/4. No scoring. And then our next piece is 8 3/4 by 9. And you're going to score that at 1/2 inch and 8 1/4. And then we're going to miter, just like we have done for all the other bases. And fold and burnish. And get our glue. And get that in the corner here. And get our thing put together. All right. Okay, so there we go. Ready to go. Okay. So front of page 4. Did I do huge flaps again? I did. Okay, front of page 4, we have 2 flaps that are 9 1/2 by 7 3/4. With the 9 1/2 at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch on both of these. Okay. And miter. And go ahead and fold and burnish. Okay. This is going to go like so. So it opens, so on and so forth. And then I have a pocket, which, hold on. I don't think this goes with this. I think this goes with the other page. I don't know. I got myself so confused last night. It was like I was in a rush. Tuesdays are piano lessons and swim lessons. Not that I typically go to piano lessons with my son, but I do go to swim lessons. And there are days that it's like, this is way harder than it needs to be. Okay. I know what I meant to do. Okay. Back up. So I know this is glued already. We're going to score this at 4 1/2. So you would score it actually 4 1/2 and 9, or if you got it turned the other way, 1/2 and then 5. Okay, so you're scoring it in half. Okay, that is going to fold back like so. Okay, this one we're going to do the same thing. It is also going to score at 4 1/2. And fold, and then we'll put it down. Okay, that's what it was. I knew there was something I needed to do. So this is going to open up like so. Okay, as far as closures go, I believe my plan is a cut apart on matted and then magnets. Okay, but for now we're just going to leave this as is and turn it over because I don't know yet which one it's going to be. If it's going to be a 3x4, a 4x4, what? Okay, so back side of page 4, we have a pocket. This is 5 1/2 by 8 3/4. You're going to score it 1/2 inch. turn, 1/2 inch, and turn. Go ahead and miter, miter, miter. Okay. This one is going to be a side loading. We want the opening facing towards the inside of the book. Go ahead and put this in. Okay. All right. Okay. So then we have a flap that's going to go on here that is 6.5 by 4. Score the 6 inch at the top, 6.5 at the top at 1/2 inch. Miter. And that's going to go on top of this pocket on this outside edge. Just centered. All right, so then I have 5.5 by 8. With 5.5 at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. This one, I think, is the wrong size. Yes, this one's supposed to be 4.5. That's what's wrong. Okay. So 4.5 by 8. 8? No. Oh my lord, seriously. Or else it was supposed to go the other direction and I just did it wrong. Wouldn't surprise me. Okay, so 4.5 by 7 3/4. And 5.5 by 7 3/4. Either way, they both started with those leftover 5.5 by 8 pieces, rather than cutting into a whole new piece of paper. Okay, so first one that's going to go down is your 4.5 by 7 3/4. Okay, this one's going to go out here on the edge. And then this one will go on top of it, much like we stacked the flaps on the front inside cover. The biggest difference being these are 2 different sizes. So this one will close all the way over the top of that and the pocket. And then we are going to grab our last set of magnets, unless I go back and put them on that one flap, but I don't know yet. Okay. I'm actually going to put it, no, I'm not. Right about there. This one will drop down on top. And there we go. All right. So now, let's move this out of the way. Let's grab our base and get our pages right side up in order, and there's our graduated pages. Okay, so let's grab our base. I'm going to grab my spacers. These are my 1/2 inch hinge spacers to help with lining up and spacing out your pages. So these slide onto your hinge like so. Okay, and then all we're going to do is we're going to get our glue. So rather than try and do it down the entire hinge, we're going to get on our ends on both sides. So when we put that page down on there, we can hold it, okay? And then do our next page. After we've got everything in, we'll slide our spacers out, and then you can come back with the small tip on your glue bottle and get the rest of the hinge, okay? So for now, I'm just doing that little bit, okay? Make sure you got the front of your page facing the way you want it. We're going to open this up. And slide it down onto our hinge. Except I've got something catching down here. I think where I mitered it was catching on this one end, and it's fine on the other. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to pinch this and hold this for a second. It's right down against the top of the spacer. And then we can go ahead and get glue on our ends on our next one. And same thing again. We're going to open that up. And slide this down on top of our hinge. I have got this. It is catching where I mitered my page in there. Okay. This one does not want to play nicely with me tonight. Or I didn't cut my hinge short enough, which is also entirely possible. Okay. So we are going to miter just a tiny bit because for whatever reason, honestly, my score line probably was not exact. Oh, there we go. That's all it needed, was just like a tiny piece. Okay, so pinch it for a second. I'm gonna paper clip this to hold it. Actually, that'd be cute to decorate the paper clip to hold that shut. I might actually do that. Okay, all right, next one. Anyway, the point I was getting ready to make is the hinge spacer keeps your pages just enough up and off of from going too far down on your hinge, okay? So that when you are turning your pages, they turn seamlessly. Yeah, my hinge is too tall. I must not have actually trimmed it down like I thought I did. I wrote it down that I was trimming it. And I'm thinking I didn't actually trim it because it is literally either that or it slipped when I trimmed it and it's crooked at the top. Again, wouldn't surprise me. I was multitasking when I cut that part. There we go. Okay. And you know what? It happens sometimes. Okay. And then our last one. And just keep these out of the way. I am going to paper clip these two as well, which honestly, that might be kind of a cute way to do a closure on this one because I can take the absolutely adorable dies and use them to decorate paper clips. Something I usually do with the junk journals, but it could work with this as well, and it would be really cute. Okay, about had it. Because yeah, I don't think I actually trimmed my hinge. I think I wrote down to trim my hinge and then didn't do it because I went on to a different project, which is why I don't do multiple projects at once, literally. Like, it makes me crazy. There we go. Yep, I don't think I could trim those down. Okay. Okay, so now with the spacers, you want to slide them, get on the right side here, slide them out. Don't try to pull them up and over. They will break. Okay. But if you just slip them out of the bottom, they slide right out, and then your pages are in. They're all even. They all have that nice space at the bottom so that everything turns without any elements causing a problem. And then all I have to do is come back and just get the edge of my glue in there and run a line just to finish securing those down. It's that easy. As I had to miter a bunch of stuff I shouldn't have had to miter if I'd been paying attention to my own dang project. Because of course I wasn't. So I'm doing too many things at once. Which again is my own problem. And my own dumb fault for doing it. But I'm always multitasking something. And that's usually why. Okay. So this one I'm actually going to open it up and do it that way because that little gusset there's making me think it's not down when it is. Okay. All right. And last one. Okay. There we go. Our entire base is together. We have our graduated pages. Let me figure out sizing on the inserts. I didn't want to pre-cut those simply because I wasn't sure how deep I really wanted them to, or how wide I really wanted them to be. So like, for example, if I feed this down in here, when I get to the bottom, I am at 5.5. Okay. So I don't want to go more than about 6.5 on that one. This one, 7.5. Let's see. Anyway, like I said, I'll get those figured out, but that's basically how I'm going to get that figured out. And then all that's left is the matting and the decorating. I'll be right back. Okay, inserts. All of them, you're going to start with a piece that is 7.5 by 12. Okay. For the very back one, you're going to score it at 9 3/8. The next one, you're going to score at 8 3/8, 7 3/8, and 6 3/8. Okay. So you're going to score and fold, and they are going to get tucked into the pages with the scored edge first. So the fold is going in first. We will decorate the ends of these. We will not do anything on the other pieces there so that you can put pictures on these and slide them in, and they're not going to get too bulky. Okay. Okay. And this one is wanting to fight with me. Okay. So what that's going to mean is when you open this up, you're going to see the edge of your inserts poking out here. And I think what I'm going to do is use the dies and do some die cuts. I had kind of a vision with, Pooh kind of with his balloon and whatnot. So we'll see how that goes. But I will do that separately from this. So yeah, so we've got pocket here. We've got our flip there. This will be for 4x6. I'm sorry, 6x8 paper pad. This one opens up like so. You've got a small side loading pocket in there. Got another side loading there. We've got flaps and a waterfall. We've got our flaps on top of the belly band with the pocket back there, which I really do think I am going to just find. I've got like some colored paper clip somewhere. So I think that's what I'm actually going to do is either I'll find some ribbon or I'll put something on it. But I think that's actually how I'm going to close that because I really kind of like that idea. Okay, this one we've got a pocket on top of the flap and then stacked pockets. We've got our angled pockets. We've got our kind of, did I glue that down? Oh my God. I'm telling you, it's one of those days. Gatefold thing here that I will just take in fact, before, so that I can kind of show you how this will go. Okay, and I think do I want the bigger magnets? No, I don't think I need the bigger magnets. Okay, so what I'll do is I will put it about an inch in from this inside spot here. Drop our other on top. There we go. And then, no, don't do that. Here. And then again, like so. And then at least I've got the base magnet where I want it to go, so that once I figure out which cut apart, most likely a 4x4, I'll mat it and get that lined up there, and then that'll be good to go. All right, then we've got 2 more flaps and another pocket, and then we've got flaps and another pocket. Lots of pockets, lots and lots of pockets. This would be a good baby album. So like if you didn't have the Simple Stories Pooh, the new Simple Story, or no, not Simple Stories, Echo Park. Oh my gosh, I've drawn a blank on the actual name of it, but it's a Winnie the Pooh themed baby collection. This would be awesome for that. So there we go. So I will get this matted. I don't have anything crazy with matting that I'm going to do in here. So you will have seen the walkthrough, of course, at the beginning of the video and know what the finished album looks like, but there you go. That is our 8x10 Winnie the Pooh Simple Stories album. So as always, thank you for watching. I will see you guys again soon with another project. And as always, like, subscribe, ring the bell to get notified when I post new projects, and I'll see you again soon.